Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park baseball series with the Pirates. And when we last left off on June 2nd, and now we are back here on that same date. Of course, still in the chase. Just to kind of recap where we are, if you did not remember or did not see the last episode, we are 2 games out of the Central. We are currently leading the wild card race by a game, although very tight race. Lots of teams are still very much in it. And we'll kind of look at the schedule here, what we've got coming up in June. Some pretty big series here. Dodgers who are in the playoff hunt. The Cubs who are, of course, in the playoff hunt in our own division. Another divisional series with the Reds, and then series with the Cardinals later in the month. Now, the All-Star game, also important note here, the All-Star game's in June. I'm going to guess this is probably because of the expansion kind of shifting kind of things around. Maybe I'll take a look at that for next year, but as of this season, the All-Star game is going to be here in the end of June, which kind of honestly threw me off. I was kind of looking at this and kind of see what I was going to go through this episode, and I was like, oh yeah, we'll have the trade deadline here, but it's only June, so we'll have a full slate of games here in July, before we even get into the deadline kind of thing. So yeah, first we'll start things off with the series against Arizona. Hopefully we can take some games here. We end up losing the first game and then end up winning the second 2-1. Do not take the third game. It's going to be very important that we beat teams like Arizona, though it looks like St. Louis also has not been playing too great, and we have an off day here. And then we have some players being promoted. Looks like actually one of them is half decent. Tony Mendoza, center fielder. He was a scouting discovery. Not too particularly high in this guy at all, but he's not a absolute zero. He's at least somewhat intriguing. And now here we have our series with the Dodgers. We lose the first game, take the second in a rubber match. We end up losing the third, 1-6. We have not been playing the absolute greatest of late, so hopefully we can kind of get things turned around. We need to remain in this race, and we're already kind of lost the game. But Quinn Priester is going to be back here, so we're going to go ahead and send him on a rehab assignment and get him back. He probably will return in the closer role, just with how frequently he's being injured. I don't want to work him too hard, especially this young in his career. Of course, in the Tiger series, if you remember, Matt Manning sustained some injuries early in his career, and he ended up eventually just being what really was an effective reliever for us, as we take a bunch of games from Colorado there. And Matt Manning ended up eventually even fizzling out, not even being a good reliever anymore. But Quinn Priester acting as a starter in AAA. Looks like he got 2 starts under his belt. That's enough for me. We're going to go ahead and get him back up here, I should say. Wyatt Mills has, of course, been just nasty since we've hit him up. Probably look to call up someone else, at least send someone else down. It's probably going to be Cobos, just because I know he has options, and he's been alright. So we'll go ahead and send him down. I'm interested to see what Davey thinks Priester should be, and he thinks he should be in the bullpen, which is fine for now, as we actually retake first place here. Some good series that we played here in the past few days. We swept Colorado, which was pretty big. That's a National League opponent. Only took 1 out of 2 for the Phillies. Actually, the Philly series wasn't great, but the Cardinals have also been not playing that great. It looks like the entire division's really been playing 500 ball here. So hopefully we can use that to kind of separate us as we take the first game in Cincinnati, lose the second, and also lose the third. So kind of tie right now with St. Louis. But however, the All-Star games have been announced, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the rosters. First, we have look at the American League. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Nestor Cortez is a prospect who is developing. He's an absolute stud hitter for them. He's making his first All-Star appearance. I'm kind of looking through here, other guys. A few new faces in here. This Hamro guy is a young pitcher for Kansas City. We've got a pitcher for the Expos here, who I guess he's their only representative. Bit of a two-way player. Ivan Herrera is a kind of young catcher now. Devers is in Baltimore, but still he's actually been in Baltimore for a while. Wow. Oh yeah, they signed him in 2023. That's right. Noah Mazzara is an all-star as an Expo. Looks like his career's having a bit of a resurgence. Joey Gallo is actually doing things in an OTP game. Torkelson is here. Have an international guy here. And then here we're going to go ahead and look into the National League. We actually have a few starters here. George Kirby, who we of course hung on to this season. He's an all-star. His second appearance, his first was in 2023. He hasn't been as good since that season, but he's having a very good year this season. And then also we have Nick Nelson, who is a multiple-time all-star now, back-to-back all-star appearances. He has been good for us, as he always is this season. I'm looking further down. Rortvedt is the starting all-star catcher. This is his third all-star appearance in a row. He won a Silver Slugger last season, so he continues to build on his career, and he just is one of the best catchers of baseball, starting over Will Smith, who of course also is a very good catcher. But Rortvedt edged him out this season. We also have another all-star here in Nick Gonzalez. He has been very, very good this year. He, of course, took the starting role over from Adaman, and ever since he's took over, he's hit fantastic this year. He hit pretty well last year in his first, not his first go to the big leagues. He did have a very, very small role in 2024. But I'm very, very pleased with his production. His ratings, I like his hitting range quite a bit. Defensively at second base, he's just kind of fine. But, when you hit like that and you can play okay defense at second base, that is great. Kind of looking through more guys here. A lot of guys here are in the usual guys here in the National League. But here's one guy who kind of frustrates me. Is Cole Tucker is an all-star for the Mets, which is just absolutely stupid. After, of course, he just didn't hit for us for years. Looks like he's pretty much been there every day, starting third baseman, sprinkling in a few other appearances at other positions. But yeah, he's an all-star. He's been absolutely stupid this year compared to how he's been. Last year he was terrible. The year before he actually started really well this season, but just ended terribly, and that really tanked his overall numbers. But he had a pretty decent 2024. 2023 was bad. Of course, 2022, he had a great season, and it's more of the same here. I actually want to see what his BABIP is. I'm sure it's probably pretty high. Oh yeah, way higher. Last year, I guess, was a bad BABIP season for him. So maybe I should have took that more into consideration when we didn't bring Tucker back. But we really don't need him on this team anyway. We have a lot of infielders as it is, and he isn't that quality like starting defensive shortstop. So I'm not too upset about not having Tucker. A surprising all-star that we have here is Christian Robinson. Of course, I mentioned how I've been surprised at his production this season, but he's been very good so far this season. He's been hitting very well. Defensively, go back to basic defending, he's been fine in center field. And it's his first all-star appearance, so pretty surprising. Didn't think we would have an all-star in the outfield this year, but Christian Robinson has been he's been very good this year, which is it's been very pleasing to see how well he's performed this season. Then we'll go to the futures kind of game here. I'm not sure how this guy's in it, especially since he just barely he's not even really like a prospect. Skip over the American League, go right to the National League. Don't want to take too much time here. Don't have anyone until Tony Ozuna, who is in High A this year, and he actually is hitting this year in High A, which is awesome, of course. In his previous 2 stints in high A, he just couldn't hit. His overall rating has bumped up to a 45. For some reason, he still wants to play in the majors, but it's just kind of interesting. I'm not sure why his expectation is, so high. But him being 21, I'm actually going to go ahead and take this opportunity to promote him up to Double A, since he is performing. Speaking of Ozuna, I think we'll go ahead and look to see how some of our other prospects are doing. Looks like Dennis all of a sudden is just really, really developed. I don't know why he's in high A, but we will disable his AI promotion demotion. He's 23. We'll put him in Double A for now. Zion Rose, how is he doing in high A? He's doing just fine. Hitting pretty well. Doing some great catching for us. Zavorak also is playing pretty well. He, of course, he probably will stay in high A for most of the year. Zion Rose, I believe this is his first year in high A. It is. So we'll probably ride out with these guys a little bit more. I'm not sure why these guys want to be playing in the majors already, since they're not really that far into the development. Kind of an outfield crunch here in Double A, so we probably should promote some of these guys here. This is Williams' first go at Double A, and he's been fine, although I might want to promote someone else. TJ White has been raking Double A. This is his second go through Double A, so I think we're going to be promoting him, although this really doesn't solve us defensively too much, because we basically have we have a couple basically center fielders, and Williams and Ozuna up there. Rodriguez, he's repeating Double A. He really didn't hit for power last year at all in Double A, so I think we might just kind of let him go through Double A as it is here. Trying to think who else here that we have that we might want to promote. Rossetti here, he definitely needs to be moved up to a higher level. I guess we'll move up to Class A, make sure he stays there. Let's see what else here. A lot of the other guys will kind of let the computer kind of manage them through. Oscar Lopez is who I was looking for, who I thought was in Double A, but he was just in high A. He's injured at the moment, so he won't really be getting much time right now. So we're going to go ahead and set our AAA and Double A lineups, or at least kind of micromanage them a little bit. TJ White, they're going to put him in right. That's just fine with me. How's Mohica doing this year? He's hitting well. So his development really hasn't progressed anywhere. He might be honestly a trade chip, or maybe someone that we even promote to the majors. Just why it keeps struggling as is. Then we'll kind of go in Double A here and see how it wants our outfield to shake out. Wants Ozuna to play center field. I think I would honestly rather have Ozuna in right field, just so he can get some positional versatility. He's played a little bit of left, but he hasn't played much else. So that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to force him to play in right, so we can get a little bit of versatility out of him. He most likely will be playing center field in the majors. It depends on, honestly, the time frame of him and Cooper Williams. They could probably share time in center field. And then Jared Jones here, who's starting at DH. I didn't even know this was a two-way player. I thought this Jared Jones, our kind of failed catching prospect at this point. He's not really hitting this season. We have Bernal up here also catching, and Omar Alfonso. Alright, and now after the All-Star game, we have our series with St. Louis here, where we're of course going to be having a big matchup in this series. We're tied for first place at the moment. Things have been going pretty well for us. As I say that, we lose the first game, and the second, hopefully we can avoid the sweep here and we get swept by the Cardinals, which is rough. Of course, that puts us 3 games back. So that is not a very good look for us right there. In the upcoming schedule, as we approach the month of July, we don't have any matchups with the Cardinals this month. We do have the Cubs, though, the Dodgers, the Padres, some tough teams. That we need to, pick up games against. And need to start by doing that with winning against the Marlins, and we do. Our owner has some talking about our goals here, and he looks like he's kind of worried with our progress. Whatever. We're just trying to make the postseason. That's what we're trying to do this year. That is what we're trying to do. Take another game against Miami here. Need to take this series. We sweep. And that will bring us to July 1st. It looks like there might be some actual interesting international amateurs this season. And maybe I spoke too soon. This guy is very good according to OSA ratings. His outfield ratings are kind of weird with a very low air. So maybe we'll stay away from him a little bit. This guy is a corner outfielder / second baseman. Doesn't really have a position. Same deal with this guy, just kind of a corner outfielder. Oh, I also just realized we're on all batters. See if it changed anything. Looks like, yes, there is a pretty decently looking pitcher here. He has a changeup that looks like it's just not going to develop at all, which is kind of weird. Yeah, also we don't have a ton of money, so I honestly think we're going to stay out of this one. These guys, some of these guys are actually interesting, which is kind of, different because a lot of these players have been pretty bad in the past few years, but I just don't want to invest the money into that this season, especially when, this guy's rated highly, but I just don't see this guy being good. He's going to have a pretty good slider, pretty good sinker, an okay forkball, and just a changeup that's not even really usable. So I think we're going to go ahead and skip out on the international amateurs again as we take a game from San Diego. Dodgers have gotten hot recently and 9-1 in their last 10. We've been playing about 500 ball. We're slipped down to second in the NL wild card, and now we still are second. The Dodgers just battling it out with the Giants for first place right now. We're a bit ahead in the wild card game, although of course our goal is to win our division. So I'm not really concerned with that, as we've run 7 in a row. We've made up all that ground we lost against St. Louis, which is very good to see. That we have done that. We're against the Waves here, who are kind of the middle of the pack team. We can't take anything against them this series. San Francisco now is up. Hopefully we can take some games from them and help us out in the race for a few reasons, since that they're in the wild card hunt, and it also helped us get up on the Cardinals, which we are a game up now, and we end up losing. So I'm still a game up with the Cardinals, but that's going to bring us to the first year player draft. We will be picking 8th after a pretty poor season last year. Of course, a season that we thought was going to be a lot better, but that's going to give us the opportunity to hopefully get a pretty good player here. And it wants us to take Josh Stark, who looks like a pretty good player. Huge fastball. Other than that, not quite too great ratings. Jeff Hargis is a stud reliever. Don't want to take a reliever with the 8th pick here, of course. This guy looks pretty major league ready. This Sosa guy, Autry. I honestly like him a bit more than, at least I think I like him a bit more than Stark. Both these guys are college pitchers that are, more ready than, other guys who are available in the draft, especially Stark. It actually looks like our head scout doesn't think he's as far along as the OSA ratings suggest. We'll look at a couple of the guys who are available down here further. Doesn't look like we're going to be taking a hitter here. Wow, this guy is a stud defensive player. Maybe more of a second baseman since he has a lower arm, or that kind of brings down his defensive kind of prowess a little bit. How highly he's viewed. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and take Stark here. I think he's the best option. He's a high work ethic player, so he has room to grow. On archery, his personality class is unknown at the moment. I don't know. I kind of think archery's the better player, although I'm not sure. Josh Starker's bonus is better. He also has a guaranteed work ethic, so I think we're gonna go ahead and take Stark. We get the guaranteed good personality trait with him, so that's a big plus. And this stud defensive shortstop is still here. We're gonna just take him right now. These good relievers are still here. I want us to take Dave Powell, who's a pretty good defensive center fielder. Sosa's still here. Yeah, these guys are gonna have high demands, but of course we went way under slot with Stark, so we have the means here to go after some of those guys. Delome, let's see if any of these guys can be starters. I do really like this guy's ratings. I would make him into a starter if he didn't have such a low stamina rating. That guy is very bad personality wise. Eddie Young, pretty good defensive shortstop there. Let's see what else is available here. Graydon Carter, he is an intriguing enough prospect. This outfielder also is looking alright. Bobby Dickey, also a decent prospect. I think I'm honestly going to go ahead by some individual ratings at this point. We'll kind of see who's available based on a lot of ratings that I like. Some decent guys here. Ken Feldman, no. Jared Jude, high work ethic player. Cal Morales has a low work ethic, so I probably will not be taking him. Otherwise, he does look like a pretty decent player. Same thing with this catcher. I probably would have took him if he had a better work ethic. Yeah, a lot of these intriguing guys are guys that look pretty intriguing, have low work ethics, which it's no good. Do not want that. This guy's a pretty good player. Maybe we'll take him. If I can't find anything else, Mike Chase, decent enough. Kind of interesting bat. Jeff Hunt, I think we're gonna go with him. To be honest, a lot of these guys, I kind of value a lot of these guys similarly. So I don't think there's like too much difference in some of these guys. I think we'll take Tommy Grant. Gap power potential. Christensen guy. I think Jude is the first baseman that I was kind of interested in looking at. Ken Feldman, I believe he does have high work ethic. We'll go ahead and take a chance on him. Why not? This third baseman has a low work ethic. We'll go by fielding ratings now, see if there's any stud fielders that we can find in here. This guy is pretty interesting. We'll take him. Kind of trying to go quick here. Don't want to spend too much time here in the later rounds on guys that most likely will make an impact with the major league team. See what we can find here. Boyce, his hitting ratings aren't interesting enough for me to take a chance on a guy like him in the later rounds here. Same with him, really. Let's see if we can find any other guys who are interesting here defensively. Probably not. It's looking like Padilla is nope. So now we're gonna go ahead and look at the pitching ratings, see if we can find any good pitchers. Robbie Hill looks to be having electric fastball, but I'm not too interested in him. Very low movement for some of these guys. That kind of put me down a bit on them. We're going to go ahead and take Sean Stevens. And then see some other guys. This shortstop has a really good changeup, but I assume he probably doesn't have anything else. Nope. Curveball wise, there's not too much that's interesting here. A lot of these guys have like some pitches paired with like a really like bad pitch for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that's showing up like this in this draft. That guy's pretty poor work ethic. Was the circle change? This guy's got a knuckleball. We'll take him for that, or think about taking him for that reason alone. Yeah, so I think that honestly might do it for this draft. Graydon Carter's still here, so I think we'll go ahead and just take him. So I think that's some pretty good value for him. Miller Green. Yeah, we're done with this draft. So we got some players I think are pretty good. I mean, we hopefully got a top arm at the top of this draft. So that should be pretty interesting. Negotiate with draftees. Nothing to do there. And now since we are in July with the draft, we should look here and take a look at what we need at the trade deadline here. Let's look at our rankings. Offense is definitely the way where we need to upgrade. Our pitching is just stupid good. I mean, we're first in like everything. We've got good pitching depth. Run scored is where we could use some help. So catcher is obviously a spot where not really looking. Rortvedt is of course a very good offensive player for us. He's actually looking to get extended. Of course, we don't really have any money to extend him because we are the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hopefully we can get some interest here. I kind of want to jack up ticket prices a little bit since we are playing so well and we're in a race. But okay, so let's go ahead and evaluate where we could upgrade. We could get better at first base. While Wyatt is getting on base at a good clip, he's just not hitting for any power or anything. His WRC plus, do I even have it on the screen? I do. I mean, he's about a league average hitter, but you know, really at first base, I mean, he gets on base at a good level, but he's really not hitting for any power. So that's very disappointing. It's also disappointing that Rocco is just not hitting whatsoever this year, which is very, very hard to see. Brian Hayes, also not hitting the greatest. Morales is also not hitting the greatest. So Hudson Head is hitting well, Robinson is still hitting well, and Ramos is hitting well. So our outfield is not the problem. It's infield. And the other problem here with our hitting looks like is we're just not getting production from some established players. Like Hayes hasn't been hitting as well as he has in the past. So and there's nothing really we can do about that. We're not gonna really we have Hayes locked in for a while, and I don't think that trading him is really in the realm of possibility. Maybe it is if we get an absolute stud instead of him, but like I guess first, third, or shortstop is where we really need to look. How has Morales' defense been? It's been above average. But yeah, I guess first base is really the place. I mean, I really don't want to send down to Rocco because his hitting ratings are like so good. But I mean I might have to, or I mean because he's a bench bat, so probably won't do much, it's not definitely worth going, for a bench bat for us. Pitching wise, Ryan Nelson has just not had a good year, and honestly could be time to move on from him. Yeah, his BABIP's about the same. He's just not striking out the same amount of guys. Homers are a little bit up. Of course, last year's his best year probably. Yeah, depending on what he wants after this season, it could be time to flip him for something better. And Priester and Montgomery just locked down the bullpen. Our pitching's been so good. So yeah, first base and shortstop, I guess, is where we really could look to upgrade here. We'll look at the trade block here to see who's available. Kind of go from there. There's not really anything too interesting here. Might end up having to shop around. A guy like Hayes just to see what we could get. And it looks like there are some interesting guys available here. We got Gleyber Torres, who's on an expiring contract. A rental like him could be very interesting, although he's not hitting himself. Yeah, he's not hitting. He's got a pretty low BABIP according to his career. But I don't think he's going to be the guy we're going after. Correa also is not hitting. Gallo, he's actually on a expiring contract, so he could. There definitely are some guys here that are interesting. If we could get Gallo, that could be a pretty interesting rental get for us, honestly. Are the Red Sox out of it? Yes, they are. So Gallo is immediately a guy that I'm looking at. Matt Olson, another guy who could be a very interesting get. The A's, a team that's out of it, they indeed are. So it looks like Gallo and Olson are main guys. Kim, more of an expensive option, although he is just not hitting. And he also can't really play shortstop, so that wouldn't really be worth it for us. Adams can't really play. I mean, he can play shortstop, and he's a fine defensive shortstop, but I just don't see the upgrade, especially for the money that we would possibly have to pay him this year. Honestly, I think that's where I have to go, because Mazara cannot play first base, so I think Gallo and Olson are going to be who we look to get here to upgrade up at first base. BABIP wise, Gallo is higher than he has been, although this is just a rental. We're basically trying to figure out who could we get here that would perform for us in this last stretch of the season. Olson is a multiple Gold Glove winner at first base at this point in his career. Who's the better track record in this game, I guess, is basically what I'm trying to look for here. Since it looks like Matt Olson hasn't been too great. To be honest, he's been pretty decent. He had a decent 2023, decent 2025, decent 2026. He plays great defense at first base, which is kind of inconsequential, especially when we're looking specifically to upgrade at the bat. It honestly looks like Gallo's going to be the way to go here. It's kind of a waste to play him at first base because he is so good defensively in the corners. Looking at our lineup, it's so tough. But I think we have to go after Gallo just as a bat to upgrade. Maybe he ends up playing some outfield for us. This season we don't really have any outfielders that would be comfortable moving up this year anyway. So as a rental, Gallo's the move here. He's who we should go for. Is this really what it would take? Okay, that was weird. That it just offered that up immediately. Wood here doesn't have the best personality ratings. That third pitch would have to develop for him to be a starter. or at least an effective major league starter. I think Wood here is who we're going to offer up, just because I think he's out of the guys who we could offer up there. The guy that has at least chance to be an effective major league player. He's already 24. He would need to change up to be an effective starter. He could be a good reliever, although all the guys that we'd have to give up would be a good reliever. But he's kind of blocked as is, so I think we pick up Gallo here. That's the move. He hasn't really played much first base, or really any first base at all since this has been going on. But we're gonna make a big move here, and we're gonna make it early. In first place is July 11th. It's kind of weird timing because the All-Star break has already happened, so it's kind of weird to make this move what seems like so early. But I think we have to do it. Especially with how bad our offense has been. We need an impact bat, and we really went out and got one. Speaking of that, I'm gonna jack up the prices on tickets here, because we're gonna have no problem selling out still, and we as the Pirates we're gonna need to bring in some revenue. So Gallo is there. I'm trying to think what else we could do to upgrade, or how we should move around our lineup here, because Gallo's very good defensively in center field, and not in center field, at a corner outfield spot, and really should try to take advantage of that. Ramos is all of our outfielders are fairly decent. The question is, can any of them play first base or learn to play first base? Hudson Head looks like what might be our best option. He might be. But also I think we have to check the shortstop market here, to try to see what we could do with that. Morocco, honestly, I think he has to be the odd man out here and get sent down. No, it's going to be Florial easily. Yep, that's who's going to get sent down for Gallo. And then we're going to want Gallo to play first base when he gets here. So we'll put him on the roster for now. And then, we'll also try to make a move for a shortstop. That's the biggest obvious hole. It's not going to be Gleyber Torres. Gallo, we want him to be playing first base, so we're going to lock him there, and hopefully Martinez actually listens, or this move might be very, very frustrating. And he will accept him playing there, so that is good. Gallo's, his first base rating is very good right now, but it'll get much better. Gallo's slotting in there at cleanup for us, as we're playing a series at Atlanta here where we win. Take a loss to Atlanta, see how Gallo's first few games are going. Hitting for some decent power, already hit 2 homers, so hopefully continue that. So I think the next natural move that we have is to at least test the shortstop market, see if we could find another rental. I would say probably not, especially since we looked at the trading block and saw the guys who were available. If Gleyber Torres was hitting, I probably would go ahead and make the move for him. Wow, we just lost a bunch of games in a row, but we take one there. Back to the trading block. Torres is very, very enticing. It looks like he has been hitting better. If I knew he would be okay defensively at shortstop, maybe we could do it, or maybe I'd be more confident in making this deal. They would want Morales for him straight up, which honestly might have to, just because roster wise it would make sense. They want a lot for him. See if we can look at any of the other rebuilding teams here, just to see who they've got in their roster. I don't really think we're gonna probably see anyone on the Waves. The Twins, who are rebuilding, they don't really have anyone, it looks like. Royce Lewis is kind of interesting. Moncada can't play short, neither can McNeil, so that's doesn't matter for us. The Expos, they have this guy who isn't even hitting, although he is kind of interesting rating wise. Reese Hines can definitely not play shortstop, and this Justice guy can, but I'm not gonna go on my way to acquire this guy. It's because there's no guarantee that he would be that much better. Matt Chapman, he would certainly be an interesting get, although he's not even hitting as well as Hayes. Guillorme is not hitting, so we're not gonna go after him. This is definitely very tough. Looking for shortstop, of course. I think so we have some time here. Nick Allen is someone who was interested in earlier, and he's not hitting, so, and he's also injured. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go farther in, and see what we're gonna get deeper, closer to the trade deadline, and see, what move we could really look to make in about a week. So I'm gonna sim a little ahead, and we're gonna see how the shortstop market is looking then. All right, so we simmed a week in advance. We played 500 ball in that week. 2 games up in the Cardinals right now. We'll just take a peek at how Gallo's been performing since he's came over. Honestly, not the greatest. I'm not sure if it's hurting his offensive production playing first base or not, but regardless, he's hitting better, or he's been more valuable offensively than Wyatt has. In that time, looking at the shortstop market once again, Therese is still here. Kim is still here. He's actually in the minors right now. Who's this guy? Can you play shortstop? No. Conversation over with him. Go to shortstop. Yeah, they're just... Andrelton Simmons is available, and he is hitting. Now this is an interesting one here. He's got a vesting option. We can get Cole Tucker back, and that would be hilarious. But if we get him to see, I feel like he just stops performing altogether. Rojas, okay. So here are some guys moves we could make in the shortstop market right here. Another Red Sox player. He would definitely be interesting. Okay, now we're in business in the shortstop market here. J.P. Crawford is not hitting at all. Iglesias, how's he hitting? Actually pretty well. Has he hit in this series? He has. Looks like Jose Iglesias has been a nice little player in this series, hitting about 300. He's been like a 2-win player every year at least. He just makes some money though, which is tough because we'll want we're not going to be we don't want to be tied long term to guys with this money. Wow, Simmons has really been hitting too his career in this. So Simmons or Rojas honestly might be the moves because they're less expensive. Story looks like his career's like over. Yeah, he's been horrible. Galvis, no. 2-win reliable. Park, more of a second baseman and not really hitting. Okay, so I think I'm going to just go through off camera and search through all these shortstop options, see what I can get the best deal for, and then I'll go ahead and let you know kind of what we're working with here. Okay, so I think I found the deal that we're gonna do, and the deal's for Andrelton Simmons. Basically, my thought process behind this is He's been the most consistent player throughout this. He's performed consistently, the most consistently out of everyone. Having a 5 WAR season 2023, I don't expect him to be that guy, but I do expect him to be this guy, the guy he's been this season with the Nationals. Almost a 2-win player, OPS plus of 87. Not fantastic by any means. He's below league average hitter, but he's close to league average, and he's going to be a better hitter than Morales has been. I like his ability to avoid Ks. He puts the ball in play. He has decent contact rating. When you're not striking out, you have chances to get on base, get hits, and he plays great defense. And basically with the offers, we can pretty much give the same offer to every team for these shortstops. At least that I've checked. Ross is on the Marlins. He's on the Red Sox in this. We can pretty much get the same offer for all of these guys. Rojas is fragile, which kind of worries me a bit. What team was he on? Simmons was on the Nationals. He's fragile. Simmons isn't fragile, so he has a better ability to. I'm more confident that we'll actually see him on the field in Pittsburgh. We can save money. They'll eat all of it. We give them Eric Calhoun, who's definitely an interesting prospect. OSA likes him a lot more than our team does. He has great stuff. He has absolutely wipeout stuff. Good stamina. Problem is he has no control. Absolutely. No idea where it was going. He was a 7th round pick for us. One of our better drafting finds. But he's going to allow the home run a lot. He has no control. He's an extreme fly ball guy, and he's going to allow a lot of home runs. Not a great combo. Jose Almonte is just kind of a throw-in guy. He's a 30-year-old reliever. But yeah, we're going to do this deal, and we're going to go out and get Simmons. 2 huge moves for our team. It's we really need this, and we're going all in on this season. Morales, we're going to go ahead and send him down. Then we're going to bring up Simmons, and he's going to be the new starting shortstop for us. Number 16, Andrelton Simmons, taking over Chai-Ju Ko's old number. We'll set up the depth charts and lineups here, so this is looking like it's probably going to be how it's going to roll for the rest of the season. Hopefully, with no one getting injured. We have Gallo slotting at first base, batting cleanup. Here's our top 4: Head, Gonzalez, Ward, Benton, Gallo. Simmons is going to be playing shortstop every day and batting 8th. We have Robinson batting 7th. Of course, he's been a stud for us so far. We have Hayes, Ramos. This is a team that I think is a pretty complete lineup now. We have Jing Chang off the bench, who's a great pinch hitter. Palma, who hasn't been good against righties, but have some faith. Rocco, guy who we're going to need to be better. Wyatt, who's, I guess now he is our best hitter off the bench. And Gallo's going to be playing some first base for us. His defensive rating has already gotten better, so hopefully it can continue to get better. And with that said, with that deal done, that's going to do it for the episode. Huge episode, tons of things happening, but it gets me very, very excited to finish out at the end of the season, and hopefully we can make a run. We're ending this episode, we're in first place, and that's where I intend to stay for the rest of the season. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode.